Awesome. Thanks very much. Hey, so I'm John Peck. I'm from Developer Relations at GitHub. And as you probably know, if you follow GitHub at all, we use GitHub to build GitHub on GitHub for just about everything. It's not just our engineering teams, it's developer relations, marketing, content, everything. And one of the things that I've loved most about my time working here is the way that I've seen issues and project boards develop. Issues give us amazing flexibility in terms of how we define work, how we update it, how we collaborate it, and how we can work with other teams. We do some really cool stuff, like we'll assign labels, we'll have automation fire off of it, push things to the right project boards. Of course, there's native ingestion as well, but we use then those to communicate with all the other teams that we work with. So when I'm doing something on a given day, I don't have to worry too much about whether content marketing knows what I'm doing. If it's relevant to them, it's already been tagged properly and shows up in their project board in the views that they want to see the way they want to see it. If it affects an engineering item or it affects something the product needs to know about, those views have already been constructed. They're seeing them, triaging them, creating custom views on them for their different audiences the way they want. And all of that power is thanks to this combination of issues and all of the developments in project boards inside GitHub that Riley is going to take off and tell us all about today. So, Riley, thank you.
Yes, thank you, John. Yes, so my name is Riley Broughten. I'm a product manager that works on GitHub Issues and Projects. And as John mentioned, issues and projects have evolved and grown tremendously over the last few years. So if you opened up an issue or a project, maybe a few years ago or even a few months ago, you're probably going to remember a different experience than what you see today. So as I talk to users and customers, I routinely hear a lot of the same few things. The first is that developers really love using GitHub Issues and Projects. They're very fast, they're very flexible, they're easy to use and set up and tailor to your use cases. And of course, they're connected right to the code, so you can focus and stay where you want to be working. The second is that they've come a long way to support more cross-team, cross-org collaboration, as well as larger scale work. So things like tables, boards, roadmaps, charts that help you visualize your project items and their progress. We have automations, workflows, templates that help you standardize how your teams work. And with some recent releases, including issue types and sub-issues, they allow you to break down and organize your work with a consistent hierarchical structure. And then the third is, if you've been watching some other keynotes this week, is that as Copilot transforms the way that we develop software, users really do want to leverage the entire GitHub platform and a lot of the new capabilities that have been announced just yesterday, including using Copilot Chat to create and refine your issues using natural language, as well as assigning issues to the Copilot coding agent. So with that, I'm very excited to talk to you a little bit more about issues and projects and how my teams use them, because we do have over 11 million monthly users, so it is a very large tool and platform. And that spans use cases from open source projects to smaller companies to larger enterprises that span a lot of different industries. So we're definitely using them a lot internally to manage our backlogs and ship exciting new features to you all. So I'm going to jump in to show you a little bit how my teams use it on issues and projects to, again, build our tool. So if I go to this project here, this is our department portfolio project. So this is a high-level view into all of the larger initiatives that our teams are working on. So you can see across the issues teams, across the projects, across notifications, we get this very quick glance to see how all of our initiatives are progressing. With issue types, you can organize and standardize what your issue's intent is. So for your epics, your features, your tasks, your bugs. So here, this high-level view just lets me focus on that larger body of work. We can see how our items break down using sub-issues. So for these larger initiatives, how we're breaking that down into epics, into tasks, into bugs, and how this is all progressing together. We can use custom fields within our projects to tailor our views. So I can see what the status is of these, what, kind of the general health, how things are progressing, the area that it's focused on, the staffing that we have set aside for it. We can use iteration fields to specify a cycle, whether it's a couple weeks or a couple months. So this just gives us a lot of flexibility to visualize our items. If I jump into a different view, which they're highly customizable, highly configurable, you can quickly make changes from this menu here. I can see more of a timeline visualization of how all this work stacks up. So what is in progress, what's coming next. I can zoom in and out, I can scroll, do a lot of flexible things on this roadmap view. And then the third and the final view is a board view. So this is similar to a Kanban view, so you can see your different status columns. I can slice by an area field here to see how this all breaks down. I can quickly change that. So again, they're meant to be very flexible to how your teams are working and how you'd like to visualize your project items. And another fun thing about projects is we have what we call project insights. So I can navigate to this tab to see some charts and visualizations of our project items. So I can quickly get a glance of how items are open and closed over time. I can add in a filter if I really just care about how the epochs are going. I can change the time range on this. So again, that gives you a nice visual representation so that we can include these in our weekly status reports and we can continue to revisit them to see how things are going. I also can create custom charts. So in this case, I can break it down by status. I'm looking specifically at epochs for this quarter. I can also look at some staffing numbers. So if I go here, I can quickly configure this, change the layout, change what the access values are. And I'm looking to see over each quarter how much staffing we have set aside for each team and for each area. So again, another configurable, customizable way that you can use projects. So if I go back to this overview, one thing I do want to show and review with you all is how an actual engineering team is building out our features for issues and projects. So one of our most exciting releases that we have coming out very soon, it will be in public preview within a few weeks or a couple months here, is issue dependencies. So that allows you to specify work that is blocking and blocked by other work. So you can see here in this design, we've created this initiative. We're using templates, kind of standardize all this information that we want to include. And if I go all the way down to see our sub-issues, we can already see how we've broken down this work and how it's progressing. So I can go into each of these epochs and see all of the full nesting layers, how this has all been broken down. I can see the progress of each of these to understand what's been done, what is still left. If I go to open this one up to see what is in progress for this epoch, I can already see how dependencies looks in this early version. So I get this nice pill at the top of my issues to very easily surface what is blocked by, or what is, blocked by and blocking this specific issue. And then I can scroll down on the side here and manage all of the relationships for this issue. So what is the parent initiative? What is it blocked by? I can go through and make easy, quick changes here. So again, this is in some early stages. We're testing this internally and with some early users right now. So always let me know if you would like to give some early feedback on this. But if I go back to the parent initiative here and scroll down, let's go and check out and see how the engineering team is working on this. So rather than that higher level view, how are they working on a day-to-day, a week-to-week basis? So here is our all-up view. So that includes all of the milestones that we are working on for issue dependencies. So the first is just allowing users to create blocking relationships. Next up, we're working more on how you can discover and use those relationships, then how you can search for them. So this gives the nice overview of this initiative. If I go down though, I can kind of already see that maybe not all of the epochs are counted for yet. We're still doing a lot of this planning here. So what I'm going to do with you all is walk through creating an epoch here. So I can see that we have a project integration MVP. And what this is focused on is just adding some little visual indicator to our table items so that we can quickly see, okay, this has a dependency that we should be aware of. Let's keep an eye on it. But what we want to do is also be able to utilize this dependency information via project fields. So similar to with sub-issues, how you can see the progress of your sub-issues and you can roll that up, I similarly want some fields that represent this information. So I'm going to come in and create a new epoch. One way that I can do this is I can utilize our issue templates and forms that we have set up to fill out an epoch. But if I go through here, there's quite a bit of information I have to fill out. Maybe I'm just really not feeling doing this right now. I just want to make sure that it's as easy as possible for me to track down my thoughts, my ideas, and then come back to it later. So what I can now do as of yesterday is I can use Copilot to create an issue. So I can use natural language here to specify what I want to do here. So I'm going to create an epoch in the GitHub/issues repo to support dependencies in projects. So I'm just going to give it a simple prompt. I could also give it, maybe a full block of text, even an image or a screenshot as well. And what it is doing is it is going to draft out an issue for me, and then I can kind of modify the details and add some more information. So what's really nice here is that it selected the repo. It even automatically selected the template that I wanted to use. I'm going to modify the title here. And it tailored and really just took this one single sentence that I had and put it into a kind of fully detailed epic here. So I still had to fill out some things such as who's responsible for each of this, but it did make it a lot faster. So I can always use the chat window to continue to refine this. I could also make direct edits in here. And I want to make sure that it is added to the project that we are using and also for this milestone here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this issue that will actually publish it to the repo. It will give me a nice confirmation message. So if I, let's see, go back here to the project, I can see that it is now an epic under this milestone. So now I can start to plan this out and triage it accordingly. So additionally on this project, I can see additional views here. We have a board view for our weekly stand-up. So we use this iteration field for our sprint cycles. I can navigate down through each assignee to see what they're working on, what's coming up. Do we need to move anything around? We can also go through items that don't have any assignees to see, do we need to assign them to someone? So this is very helpful for our iteration planning. We get a nice view for open PRs. So again, the real benefit of projects is that is very close to your code. So you can add in issues and pull requests so that any new PRs that need review that come in, we can view them here. We can see how our parent issues are broken up. We get a view into maybe some items that our immediate engineering team isn't responsible for, but we want to flag them and kind of keep an eye on them across other teams. So things like documentation, our previews with our go-to-market team, our releases team. So this just allows us to separate those out. But one thing I do want to do is, as new issues are added to this project, so as we have new bugs that are coming through, some new feature requests, I want to make sure that items don't just get added to to-do. I want to triage them, want to prioritize them, review them with the engineering team. So I'm going to go and modify the status field here, and I'm going to add a new status that is called triage. So I'm going to go through, change the color here. I want this to be up above what to do is. And now I can go and create a view that is focused specifically on triage items. So here, now any new item that comes through on the project will be added to this column or to this view here so that I can add the priority. I can maybe assign it to a milestone. Maybe we want to add an iteration to it. So that's all going to make it very easy for me to add that information. And one additional thing about projects I've not shown yet is workflows, which allow us to automate how your issues move through the project. So once they're added, what do you want to happen? I want to automatically set that to triage status. And I'm going to turn on that workflow. Or once our coder changes are requested, once pull requests are merged, once items are closed, you can configure these to make sure that your items stay up to date automatically. But while this is a great view for the repos that I'm working with, I know that there are probably going to be a lot of feature requests and some bug reports that are created sporadically across the GitHub organization. So what I can do is go to the issues dashboard. And this is the home for all issues across all organizations and repos I'm a part of. So I can see these helpful views here. I've created some custom views for myself, such as my bugs that I care about, my team's work, PRs that need my review. And I'm going to create a new one that is a issue dependency watch list. And I can build out some nice helpful views and filters here. I can now use advanced searching to create this. Let's say I want to just find items in the GitHub org. And one last thing, as I am shortly running out of time here, is to find anything that has issue dependencies in the body. So what that's going to do is allow me to kind of create this different list here that I can review on a weekly basis. I can customize this, get some color. And now I can see that there's already a few features that have been requested outside the orgs that I knew about. So all I can do is go into these and easily add it to my project. So here's my dependencies project. I can do that. And now if I go back into my triage view, all of my items are there. So it's a great way to keep it all connected and make sure items stay up to date. And that was a lot of information. So thank you so much. Lots of information packed in there, but we are over at the enterprise scale booth over at the GitHub window if you have more questions.
That was insane. Thank you so much.
Rapid.
Amazing slew of features in 15 minutes. Yes, as Riley mentioned, GitHub booth is right over here. I know one of the things a lot of you will want to know about is how can I migrate? There's going to be a lot of you on Azure DevOps right now. They're wondering how I can start taking advantage of all of this power right away. The good news there, migration is easy and you can hybridize too. So you don't have to move everything all at once. We can start playing around with some of these features right away, one click from your existing Azure. So come on over, talk to us at the GitHub booths, and we'll be happy to walk you through that and give you more resources on it too.